Okay, guys, so it looks like I got kicked out on that last one. Something is going on with YouTube. They want to silence my voice. But yeah, my live stream just stopped, basically allowing me to keep going, so I had to go out and come back in. But welcome everyone, come on into this dimension. We're gonna do a remote view of the Eye of Sahara. We're just gonna do something similar to automatic writing. But I'm gonna kind of go over some stuff that I had come to perceive doing a group remote view the other night on my Patreon. Hi Edgar, thank you for your donation. I was sorry about that last go round there. Basically, YouTube kind of just stopped my live. So they must be watching me. They're keeping an eye on what I'm doing over here. Yeah. So yeah, namaste Galactic family. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Drop a like on this video, guys. Help me out for those algorithms. And if you're returning, be sure to hit that notifications bell so you can continue to receive my messages. And come on in, all nations, Atlanteans, Lemurians, starseeds, and those who are rehabilitating that ascension DNA. Yeah, so today I'm going to be giving you guys my analysis of a remote view that I've been doing of the Eye of Sahara. I have been remote viewing into the structure for a few days now. So I've made a lot of observations overall that I really want to share with you guys. I'm going to be giving you my initial visibility in the viewing and then some of the group remote view interpretations of the Richat structure, or what is the location of Atlantis. And this is basically a continuation of the explorative and the informational stargate functioning of gate mechanics from the last cosmic grid update that I did. So just please watch that last update to basically fill you guys in on as to why I am remote viewing the Eye of Sahara, the Richat structure, or what I believe to be is the original Atlantis. So this does seem to be a metagalactic gateway. Okay, so if any of you have tuned into the structure, it definitely doesn't feel like a stargate. It definitely does not feel like a natural stargate. This feels like a metagalactic gateway. And it doesn't feel like the man-made stargates. So this, it doesn't have stargate functioning, stargate mechanics. It doesn't really have portal mechanics either. Or it's not even really similar to meteorite portal impact sites or sacred sites. So I'm calling this a galactic gateway. It does seem to be holding the encoding to the old and lost worlds. The Polarians, the Hyperboreans, the Mayans, the Dogons, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, and several of the other types of existences, human existences, that have been existing since beyond 500,000 years ago, and even post the electric wars. So prior to the electric wars and post the electric wars. And I just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay. It does look like my live is still going, so this is a good thing. Just drop a comment and let me know you can hear me. Just want to make sure I don't keep like rambling off and no one can hear me. Okay, awesome. Yes, you can hear me. Yes, perfect. Wonderful. Yeah, I just needed to make sure because my live did just short out a minute ago. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so about this gateway, so it does seem to be holding all of the encoding to all of the planetoid sister races. I was seeing a lot come through from Venus. So it's holding the memory of Venusian timelines, Venusian existences, and also all of the other planetoids in our universal system, and also other ET systems, Andromeda as well. It also seems to be holding and coding to life on the other side of the galactic arm as well. So I was picking up on that, and that it takes us about 200 million years into the rotation of those galactic arms. So I was picking up on life on the other side of the galactic arms. And so we had life on the other side of the rotation of those arms. So it's revealing to me, as I scan into it, it's revealing to me life flipped in parallel into those past and future timelines on the other side of the galactic arms, and showing me into the lost and forgotten galactic cycles. So races that these memory fields and DNA records are holding are really hard to attain because their existences literally sit on the other side of galactic existence, is what I'm seeing through this Richat structure. Okay, guys, so this is where Atlantis used to exist. It's holding the meta-universal collective race field. It does seem to generate into time vectors within the transdimensional stargates, and it is creating an hourglass dome. Okay, so the hourglass has been coming up a lot lately. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that geometric encoding of the hourglass, but essentially I've been seeing a lot of hourglass encoding. And so when I scanned into the eye of the Sahara, I could see that this was the first hub from the race morphogenetic field. So if the race morphogenetic field is the initiation point where races basically seed into the earth and hold that collective memory, the eye of Sahara seems to be like a micro brain, or like a intermediation station between the race morphogenetic field and genetic order or distribution to stargate sites and locations. So that's kind of what makes this gateway so special, is that it does seem to be operating as like a miniature Earth brain. I've seen that this galactic gateway does run 48 strands of the DNA, so 48 star race systems, 48 monadic extensions into the human race collective shared memory fields, which makes up the majority of the collective shared experience here and is kind of the baseline for the collective subconscious shared field. So this is very, very powerful. It's definitely 48 strand. It's 48 genetic, and it is 48 monadic. So it's a very, very powerful stargate, and it does hold keys and encoding to the metagalactic core. I've seen this may have also been the galactic gateway in which the Mayans departed in, right? Because this symbolism really does match the Hunab Ku. So I know a lot of us have been picking up on the Mayan energy as of recently. I do believe the Lion's Gate is really activating the Lemurian timelines, also the Mayan energy. So I do feel that this gateway is kind of because it's a concentric circle, similarly to the Hunab Ku, it is acting as a key doorway to the metagalactic core. And so it could be being used as the gateway for the mass cleansing or the ethnic cleansing, or mass civilizational exits as well. Well, because it's a metagalactic core gateway. So this is beyond a stargate structure, right? This isn't just being used for smaller things of transdimensional induction into the earth or export. This isn't just for ley line generation or for collective field running reality templates. Like this gateway is kind of it's a much larger gateway. So this could definitely be being used for transportation of mass exits into the galactic system, considering the Mayans were a galactic nation, right? They were, the nation, the civilization that best defined galactic synchronization. Okay, so I'm seeing that this Eye of Sahara could have been used for exiting of the Mayans. Also, the Atlantean planetary akashic fields in the human shared memory are very activated at this time due to the Lionsgate alignment. So it's kind of exposing this multifunctionality of this Richat structure. Okay, so what I've kind of been seeing that it is running codes from the Temple Mount in Jerusalem at the Golden Gate. This would act as the initiator. So I kind of drew up a picture here. And don't make fun of my drawing because I really do suck at drawing things. I am not an artist by nature, but essentially what I'm kind of seeing is the Lionsgate aligns here. And it's kind of like the initiating energy. And I'm seeing a triangulation between the Temple Mount in Jerusalem down to the Kaaba, which is an anti-clockwise gate, right? So it's flowing anti-clockwise, and this is a very powerful gate site. This is like one of the most powerful, collectively enforced functioning gate sites on the earth. So this would be generating currents along this ley line. I believe this is at about 24 degrees north. But essentially it's generating a lot of that quantum west. So west is kind of like the initiating energy here at the Eye of Sahara. So everything is pointing west. Even the opening gate structure to the Eye of Sahara is coming west. So if this is the Richat structure, and I apologize, you guys, my drawing is so horrible, but it's the only way I can kind of explain this stuff. But let's say this is the Richat structure. So even the opening to this points west. So I'm seeing a lot of generating current, and this is kind of a triangulation system here. As it does seem that most of the major powered functioning stargate systems on the Earth are forming a triangulated system, basically. And so that has a lot to do with this hourglass geometry that's kind of coming up through this gateway. So I'm seeing energy flowing kind of west on this current here. Okay, so I'm going to kind of dive more into this, but I'm explaining how the Lionsgate's alignment would align here through the Golden Gate, through the actual physical location of the Lionsgate. And if it's working off a triangulated energetic system, this current or this flow would be kind of coming to the Kaaba here, which is a man-made energy vortex, basically that is using quantum mechanics and quantum functioning to power other systems. So there's definitely a connection between the Kaaba and the Eye of Sahara, as they're both sitting on that same horizontal ley line. But this is definitely sending energy currents over here to the Bermuda. So this would be the Bermuda Triangle here. And I'm just kind of like re-outlining it in my blue pen. But this is where during the group remote view, we were seeing this hourglass type geometry that's running within the Bermuda. So we have the initiator, we have the core generating, and then we have this miniature micro brain type metagalactic gateway, which when I did the group remote view, we seen that there may be actually one other eye under the water in the Bermuda. So when we were actually zooming into the planetary structures here, we were seeing another eye. I'll just draw an eye, but we were seeing, it's not a very good eye, but we were seeing another eye under the Bermuda Triangle, essentially. And then we were also seeing possibly another eye that was to exist in the Pacific Ocean. So there may potentially be 3 other eyes. Okay. And so it is possible that there is another eye in the Pacific that is according to Lemurian gate systems. Okay, and to the Bermuda, which is really operating as a black hole system. So this here is operating as a black hole system. It's a false, this is definitely a false, I don't want to say false. It's a natural transdimensional gate, but it is definitely highly geomagnetic, and it's posing as a decoy. What do the eyes do? That's a good question. So they're definitely gateways. They're gateways into the lost worlds. They're gateways into the other timelines and the other akashic fields, essentially. Yes. And so what will these other gates be doing? See, we haven't confirmed these gates. These were just exposed to us during the remote view. Okay, when we did the group remote view on my Patreon. And so if anyone wants to get in on these group remote views, I am going to be hosting them once a month on my Patreon, patreon.com/indigoangel, where we just get kind of the best remote viewers together, and we go into these locations, and we basically, you know, it's for studies, it's for research, it's for gate mechanics, it's for exploration as to see how these sacred sites are operating and according to the astrological alignments. So that's kind of what these are for. These remote views is to go in and to view into the visibility of the functioning gate mechanics, and to see as to why all of this is relevant and how everything is working on an interdimensional spectrum within the Earth's grids. Okay, so I was seeing that the just stopped and got a buzzing sound. Okay, I gotta check this, guys. Okay, can you guys hear me? Go ahead and let me know. Drop it in the comments. Let me know you can hear me. YouTube kind of seems like they want to mess with this live stream. Okay, awesome. Perfect. You guys are following me. Thank you. As you guys know, I don't get on live streams very often. They just make me nervous. But thank you. Thank you for letting me know you can hear me. Okay, yeah, so we have the initiating gate, Lion's Gate. We have core generating, man-made functioning mechanics. But there is a reason why this is happening, and I do believe it's because of the meteorite technology that they're using here. And it's also because this ley line is a highly powered ley line. See, we're all kind of looking at the 30-degree west, which runs through the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Like that, this ley line that runs through Jerusalem, this is the patriarchal ley line. Like this is what is hosting all of the dominant, powerful forces that are running, you know, those powerful Achillean and eagle grids, essentially. That's all kind of generating off of the 30-degree north. But it is very interesting to see that this particular 24-degree north is really running the functioning mechanics to the Atlantean systems. Okay. So, which is extending into wormhole systems. The Bermuda is a wormhole system. There are also actually 2 wormhole systems that sit on the west side of Central and North America as well. Okay, so what we were seeing in the remote view is that these time vector portals actually need to be flipped. They need to be flipped through this gateway. And I did kind of post that on my Patreon. So if my Patreons are listening, I posted letting them know, because when we went in for the remote view, we did see, we've seen that geometry running, and we've seen that the gate needed to be flipped. Okay, so yeah, again, if you guys want to get in on a group remote view, you guys can join my Patreon, patreon.com/indigoangel. I do have $11.11 a month, $22.22 a month, $44.44 a month. All of those would get you into the monthly remote view, but essentially the $44.44 a month would be the package that would allow you to have the one-on-ones with me once a month as well, just to do some deeper work and practice learning remote viewing if you need to learn to remote view. Okay, and I also do teach this on my AMP session. So if you're interested in getting the technology for remote viewing, I do this on my AMP, and that's on my website, indigoangel222.com. But today for this remote view, I am going to essentially, I'm going to be doing something similar to automatic writing. Okay, so I'll probably come back to this picture here in a minute, but we're going to go through some of this. And I'm going to kind of pull in some of the intel from the group remote view. And I'm going to kind of do something similar to automatic writing. Okay, so how we kind of begin those remote views is we go in with sealing our astral field. We use the flames. We use the astral silver flame. We use the blue flame. We also use the emerald flame. And we basically bring those flames up from the core of the earth, and we expand those out into our bioenergetic field. Okay, and we use that as a protection field for anything that would try to basically hook or implant into your astral field as you're going into the locations to remote view those locations. And then currently we're using a trans-dimensionalized Merkaba. This is a 6-dimensional, I say it's a 3-to-9-dimensional rotating Merkaba, and we focus on the spin sets to actually get ourselves able to access and transport to that location. Yeah, you do want to use your third eye to remote view. It is definitely a clear sentious, a clear cognizant type act, like as you scan into it. It's really being in a state of allowance. You're going to need to allow yourself to enter into the functioning time vector sets of those stargates and of those portals to be able to access the akashic visibility within that area or that perimeter in which you are trying to remote view, if that kind of makes sense. Okay. For those of you who might not have the ability to remote view, there are a lot of things you can do to basically develop this part of your consciousness. You can develop it by doing techniques that will basically strengthen your telepathy. You can do it using techniques that would also enhance your conscious awareness of being in a lucid realm. I got my candle, it's starting to spill here. But yeah, so you would just want to develop this. I've kind of noticed some people can do it and some people they just kind of can't. So they're either in the process of developing their ability to do it, or they are or they just have the inherent natural gift to do it. You can access it through your third eye by kind of opening a window or opening a portal into that location within those perimeters to scan. You can use the solar sun as a portal or a gateway to actually come down into a pyramidal type viewpoint of the perimeters in which you're trying to remote view as well. You guys can see my little dog in the corner over here. This is Diamond. She's hiding under the desk. But yeah, it's a lot better if you remote view in a group setting. So if you can get with other people who can remote view very well, it can also assist you with opening up more portals, more akashic visibility, more access points into the location or the stargate area. Okay, let me know you guys can hear me. So if dark entities are shown to you, you definitely want to have protection when you're going into remote view. I have been guided to extensively wear EMF protection because it depends where you're remote viewing. So if you're going to be remote viewing natural gate sites, natural stargate sites, you don't have to essentially maybe use as much EMF protection because they're not going to be as radioactive. Okay, but if you are going into a site that is definitely man-made and collectively enforced, such as the Kaaba, you're definitely going to want to use EMF protection because they are radioactive, and that will affect your energetic field, basically, when you are scanning into that. So I wasn't really aware of that as I was kind of remote viewing the Kaaba, and I do feel like I got some symptoms of radiation poisoning. So my guides after that kept encouraging me, I need to use EMF protection. I'm currently using this shungite. So I use something like this. It's copper based, and it's called elite shungite. So elite shungite is kind of like the purest form of shungite. And I think they actually find this in Russia. But it's also orgone. And so it basically just protects you from the sea of the electrosmog. So when you're going in to these really powered, unnatural gate sites, there's a lot of electrosmog. So this will kind of clear that. So you want to use protection for sure. You want to use anything EMF protection. I've also been guided to use mirrors as well, because when you encounter anything in the shadow, anything unconscious, anything that has implants or hooks, you want to be able to have reflective light. So your energy field, especially if you go into that remote view, fully protected, sealing your light body field in light, bringing up the flames, working with the blue flame, the emerald flame, the golden flame, the silver flame, your astral field is already very protected. So if you take a mirror in with you, you're going to actually have better mastery over controlling that reflection of light into things that may be unconscious or shadow. Okay, so yeah, there's a lot of protection that you can do to remote view. For me, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of a pioneer in that sense. I just kind of go into things, and then if I feel that something isn't good for me, then I relook at the situation and re-examine it. So I'm very experimental, I'm very explorative, and I kind of just don't really hold a lot of fear in doing it. Overall, but that's just me. So yeah, so going into the Richat structure, so I'm going to kind of go into somewhat of a remote view with you guys right now. I'm going to be doing something similar to automatic writing. So I'm just going to kind of go into the Richat structure, and I'm going to automatically write what I see, feel, and hear as I come into the structure. I'm also going to be kind of pulling some of the notes and some of the intel from my group remote view when I get to certain points within this remote view, that the information becomes relative for you guys, okay? So yeah, I'm just fixing my camera a little bit. Okay. So my camera likes to keep slipping on my little stand. Okay. Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna basically go into the Eye of Sahara. In just a second. I'm just gonna kind of prepare myself really quick for this. So hang tight with me, you guys. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. I slipped. I'm trying to get my camera up here. It keeps falling. Okay. Sorry, guys. It doesn't want to stay in the holder for some reason. Okay, now it wants to stay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go into a remote view. And I'm going to do some automatic writing in this remote view. Okay, so I'm going to scan my energy into the Eye of Sahara. And so as I come into the Eye of Sahara, I'm coming down at a pyramidal viewpoint. I'm seeing other access points coming up to the Eye of Sahara that would be either underground or they would be as far as the mirror, I would hold the mirror in front of you. So I actually got this question earlier as I was doing a Draco seal removal. You want to hold the mirror in front of you and you want to point it towards the direction in which you're viewing, right? You want to hold it in the direction in which your pineal is projecting, basically, because that's kind of like your miner's hat. Like if you had a hat on and you were a miner and you were down in like a cave and you had a light shining, basically you're going to want to hold that mirror. That's going to pick up on the reflection of that light. That's going to see that light. So that way, if you come into contact with something that sees you, then it can see the light in your mirror. I wouldn't hold it facing you. No, I wouldn't. I would hold it facing out into your visibility because it's reflecting the light back from your energy field, if that kind of makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go into the Eye of Sahara. So as I kind of come in, I immediately start hearing the words, gateway to the lost world. Okay, definitely gateway. Okay, lost world. Okay, so I hear gateway of truth. I hear gateway of life. Okay, I hear gateway of protection. Okay, I hear it's the gateway. It's the reason we have cosmic perception. Okay. I hear this gateway carries the messages of our prophecy. Messages of prophecy. Okay, so it's definitely holding the template for the subconscious collective shared experience. I also see gateway that holds vision of the future. Vision of our future. Okay. Okay, this is definitely the largest gateway on the earth. It's the largest. Largest gateway on earth. Okay. It's the spiritual symbolism of the eye. So everything that the eye represents, basically. Okay. The eye is representing all sight. So this gateway is carrying all sight into the soul of the earth. Okay, so I immediately see Mayans. I see Lemurians. I see the Atlanteans. Okay, I do see that the Aryans are blocking this. So the Aryans are blocking this gateway. Aryans are blocking. They're still using it. They're using this gateway. But they cannot fully hijack this gateway. Okay, they can only use it. So it does not feel malevolent. Okay, it does not feel malevolent. Okay, I'm seeing that this gateway feels more like it's functioning from natural cosmic structures and flow. So it feels natural. Okay, I am seeing some unnatural forces. Okay, so I'm seeing specific races that have figured out the mechanics of this structure. So this structure has been used since previous 500,000 years. They are using it for wars and construction into and within the stairway to heaven. So they have obstructions. Obstructions within the stairway to heaven. Okay. That's coming through overlay systems. Okay, so I'm seeing overlays. Okay, I'm definitely seeing this symbolism, and it's over the tree of life. So I'm seeing Norway. I'm seeing the tree of life at Norway. Okay, and it's, okay, so if this is the tree of life, we have 12 spheres, right? These time capsules are over top of it. Okay, so they're constructing time capsules over the universal tree of life here within the central pillar. Okay. These are negative agendas, but this is not related to the natural gate. So this is the gate is still natural. The gate is not fully hijacked. They cannot fully hijack this gate. This gate feels desolate. Okay, so I'm seeing desolate, barren. Okay, the word lost keeps coming back, lost. Okay. Okay, so now I'm feeling atmospheric changes. I'm feeling there's definitely alternating atmospheric pressure around the gate. So within the Eye of Sahara, there's like atmospheric changes that are taking place. It's alternating between hot desert and the savanna. So I'm seeing like a 20,000 year rotation set where it's going from hot desert back to savanna. Trees are growing. There are but the trees are, it's not like abundant with the trees. The trees are more dispersed. The trees are kind of not very dense. So but the oxygen feels very alkaline. So I'm getting this alkaline sense as I come in. I can taste in my mouth right now, I can taste the moisture. It tastes like iron. So I can taste iron. And I'm also smelling and feeling iron in the wind. So I'm seeing like monsoons. So monsoons are coming through that are picking up iron. It does seem when the monsoon and the wind pick up, the iron picks up. This does anchor more light in a dome structure. Okay, so I'm seeing a dome that goes over this energetically and does expand out. Okay, this dome carries ripples that do seem to extend into the atmospheric dome of the planet. Okay, if that's kind of making sense. Yes, but the iron and the wind there does seem to be anchoring light into this gate system. Okay, again, I'm seeing dominating west. Okay, so everything's pointing west, everything. It looks like buildings, doorways, windows, temples. All temples are pointing west. Okay. All the infrastructure is pointing west. All prayers are pointing west. Okay, so it does seem like there are soul capsules of prayers. Hard to explain. Soul capsules, they're fragmented soul capsules that are, I guess you could say they're in time capsules. They're definitely, I want to say they're trapped. So they're trapped in these time capsules that are flowing. They're definitely flowing anti-clockwise. Okay, so they do seem to be fragments of souls that have been fragmented from the fall or fragmented from the Atlantean timeline. Okay, they're trying to reintegrate here. Okay, so they're trying to reintegrate into the soul extensions of the monadic extensions for these timelines, but they can't. Okay, because this gate system has been connected to a fractured aspect of the grids. Okay, so this does have to do with the Bermuda. So I'm seeing the Bermuda come back in on this one. Okay, that these fractured soul capsules, Atlantean fragmented aspects of those soul egregores are fragmented in the Bermuda. Okay, so you may need to access this. Well, and that may be one of the reasons why this gate needed to be flipped, okay, is because those capsulated egregores are trapped in the geomagnetic pull of the black hole system in the Bermuda, if that kind of makes sense, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna keep going here because I'm getting more coming through. The wind, okay? The wind does seem to be the dominant element here. Wind is dominant element. Okay, it was water. At one time, it was water and wind. But now it is just wind. Okay, so the wind is carrying the strongest cellular memory to this. It's carrying the plasma. The wind is what's carrying the Atlantean host plasma. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing land transitions. So the land is transitioning. Okay, so the land is transitioning. It looks like every 20 to 25,000 years. Okay, it's going between. The water is basically filling the canals of the Richat structure on and off every 20,000 years. I'm seeing like a filling and a draining. So it's filling the Richat. And then it's draining again. Okay. It does seem to be going through cycles of filling and draining. Of filling and draining. Okay, you guys can still hear me? Just checking in. Checking in with you guys, because once I start doing this, I'm kind of like in the zone, so I just kind of continue to write. So I just want to make sure you guys are still with me. Okay, awesome. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of hard for me to tune in and tune out. Okay. All right, awesome. So I'll just keep going then. Okay, so again, nothing here feels malevolent. It feels like it's functioning from a natural cosmic structure and flow that is hosting this filling and draining. Okay, so it is, it's definitely, I already wrote natural. Okay. So yeah, the land is transitioning, and I'm seeing that the Atlanteans knew of these wet and dry seasons. Okay, so they knew of the wet and dry seasons, and it looks like they would actually build between the dry. So they build infrastructure. They built the infrastructure in between wet and dry seasons. Okay, so they knew that that was how they that's how they built up in between the land infrastructure, in between the water canals and passages, is they would actually wait for dry seasons to come through. I am seeing, okay, so I am seeing two river systems here. Two river systems that were flowing at that time. Okay. It looks like there was one river system that flowed over and across the Sahara. So one river that went across Sahara. Okay, it does look like this came from the Atlas Mountains. Okay, so it's like there was like like if you had the Atlas Mountains here, and the Richat structures here, it was like a river that flew. It looks like it's flowing down and across the Sahara, across Africa. So it looks like there used to be a river here. So if it looks like these were the Atlas Mountains. It seems like there was a river system that kind of came down. This was over top of Africa, and it flowed east. Okay, and it did merge with the Nile. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing there. It looks like, okay, I'm seeing a second river system as well. So there's a second river. Okay, and this one seems to be underground. Okay, so it looks like there's an underground river system that flew. This one went opposite from the Nile. This one seems to connect into the ocean. And underwater, I don't know. It looks like, to me, it looks like it's connected to the ocean under the, like, continental shelf of the Eye of Sahara. Like, as if there was, like, an underwater lake that maybe just went down into the ocean. Because during the group remote view, I was seeing whale bones. So I was seeing, like, whale skeletons around the Richat structure. And the bones, they were close to the tops of the mantle, so it almost looked like either the ocean was pushing those whale skeletons up towards the mantle, towards the Richat structure, or there was whales that were actually swimming around the Richat structure. Okay, either way, I keep tuning into the grandmother whales. Let me see. There's definitely tunnel systems here. There's definitely tunnel systems coming in from Antarctica. I'm seeing tunnel systems coming in from the Zion pyramids in China. I'm seeing tunnel systems come down from the Atlas Mountains. I'm seeing tunnel systems that come down from the Pillars of Hercules. I'm seeing tunnel systems that come in from Mali. These were later. These river systems, they appear to be a lot older. The oceanic, I can't tell if it's like an ocean. It looks like an ocean, but it also looks like it could be like a lake that sat underneath the Richat structure as well. It's definitely merged with volcanic activity. It does seem that this will be reactivated again at some point. So this underwater river, this second river under the ground, it does look like that this, all it takes is some continental shelf slipping, that this is going to be reactivated, that this is, it's almost as if I keep seeing the prophecy will return. Like, I keep hearing the words prophecy will return. Almost as if Atlantis will play out here again in the future on the other side of the galactic arm, because I keep seeing the galactic arms, and I keep seeing time markers of Atlantis on each arm. Like, there's 200 million years between each one. Yeah, so I just basically keep seeing that will return. The tunnel systems are still there. They are still there. I had a girl remote view in my group remote view up through the Antarctica system. Okay, so we are still seeing those as active. Okay, and this is Siriun related. His phone just buzzed out right at the moment. It's playing Into the Future. Yeah, guys, I keep getting, like, this is like a replay. And this is kind of why I keep seeing this as like the internal structure of the collective human subconscious experience. Because it is literally, it's coming from a different parallel within the galactic memory fields of the rotating arms and also the galactic rotating precession cycles. So this eye is seeing, oh, sorry guys. This eye is seeing through. Okay, you guys see me? So I'm getting a lot of interference here, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep my phone stabilized, but it does keep falling, so I'm trying to get it fixed. But okay. Yeah, sorry. That happens sometimes. My camera's not the most stable. I gotta get a new one. Okay, so yeah, I am seeing that this does actually create the collective human shared experience. So this is kind of building the collective subconscious experience for the entire Earth. And I'm also seeing that because the Siriun gateway is universal, that it basically is like these are encoded imprints that you get as you access the gateways. Okay, so as you come through the Siriun gateway, like anyone who comes through like the Melchizedek lines, anyone who comes through the Merovingian lines, anyone who comes through any bit of a genetic descendancy from those Christed Grail extensions, they're basically using the Sirian stargates. Okay, they're using Sirius B, they're using Sirius A. As soon as you access Sirius A, Sirius B, you're getting the collective shared field experience of the Atlantean templates. Okay. Again, I'm also seeing I'm seeing the grandmother whales. Okay, that's why there is definitely that's why I'm seeing the whale skeletons. What does it mean for those souls? They're basically playing out that shared timeline experience here to exist. They're basically here to uphold the infrastructure of those lost worlds. And it's also karmic. I do feel that this is karmic. Okay, now that I say that, I'm seeing like a mirror in Atlantis that is like 100 times fold. So this is like a karmatic, it's definitely a karmatic reflection that is played into the collective subconscious shared experience. So it's definitely something that's still going to play out through those time vectors and portals. This could be why they're still distorting those, is so that they can keep the replay happening in the subconscious planetary collective fields. It definitely has to do with God Wars. I've talked about the Yaldabaoth, and I've been talking about the distortions that are placed in the Stairway to Heaven. It's also a spiritual warfare within the Seraphim. So I don't know if some of you have been picking up on the Seraphim, but that has been coming through a lot lately. There's still like demonization tactics that were placed upon Sophia, or the emanation of wisdom, the emanation of the God mind of wisdom. All of this has been like Atlantean related, and all of this is still playing out through the Melchizedek lines. Okay, so that's kind of just some of the stuff I've been picking up through the, at least through the Lion's Gate. That's just becoming more transparent for me. Keep in mind, guys, I don't have the answers to everything. A lot of things still just kind of unfold for me as I go. Like as I kind of tune into it, I also just start getting the, pictures of things that are playing out, and I don't have the answers as to why this karmatically is staying in a loop cycle. I really do think that it has something to do with the 4 rotating arms in the galactic core, that they're hijacked overlay systems, that the overlay grid systems like the Aquilin, control system, the lions, the white lion control system, even the serpent system, right? There's like a overlay of a serpent system too. That these are keeping people basically in those egregoric time capsules, the Atlantean time capsules, that are keeping people in these replays of these karmic loops, that this is a collective karmic loop, basically. Okay, so I'm also seeing dolphins still. So dolphins, I'm seeing here, this is when they began speaking. So dolphins did not speak until Atlantis. They never clicked. So like I'm seeing the clicking sound, like the click, 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 like that click never started until Atlantis. So it's almost like the dolphins were actually granted their souls in Atlantis, okay? Okay, so I do see Sirius as the dominating radial energy here. It is the radial atomic energy as a primary, so it does seem like it goes in sequence sets. So I'm seeing sequence sets of radial diversity. It seems like Sirius is definitely the primary. Sirius as primary. That expands into the 48 systems. It definitely has to do with the dominating systems, absolutely. I mean, Draco and Anunnaki have such a stronghold on the Earth's grids and the Earth systems. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to keep my camera up here from slipping again. Yeah, the Draco's been here for over 500,000 years experimenting on humans. So, I mean, everything that we have in terms of hierarchy structures, the Draconic law, the government, the medical system, all of that is basically has been inherited from Draconic law, but this also has to do with the seals that they placed upon the magnetic North Pole. Okay, so the magnetic North Pole, they basically placed an artificial swastika seal, like a swastika lens, over the magnetic North Pole. Okay, so that is, it's basically like a seal that disallows people from being able to access the natural galactic synchronization of the metagalactic core, if that makes sense. And so they capped it, they sealed it there. People cannot see these distortions because they were placed over 500,000 years ago, but they then played out within the Aryan timeline, and the Aryan occultist basically got the documentation. Basically. They basically got the documentation of this and these records. They got the verification and the proof of their Aryanism. And so they started tampering more with other stargate systems in Antarctica. Down in the South Pole, they placed reflection beams to keep these particular seals in the collective fields of the magnetic North Pole. So they really are blocking you and disallowing you from being able to access the Polarian gate system, because this is where they distorted everything. But this is why we have the hierarchy implanted into the system. So these are so deep down into the Earth's grids, within matrix systems, within control grids that have been hybridized with the enforcement of the Anunnaki, that they really do take the collective, removing this technology out of the Earth for it to regain its purity or to regain its sovereignty, is basically what I see with that. Okay. But I am seeing an order of systems coming through here. Okay, so I'm seeing Sirius B. I'm seeing Sirius A. I see Polaris. Okay, I see Thuban. It does look like it goes in a order. It's like a rotation set from the Eye of Sahara. There's Lyra. It looks like Nibiru. I'm seeing Regulus, and I'm just going order in in how I see the radial diversity. Okay, so in order, I see Arcturus. I see Antares. I see Cygnus. Hydra. Pleiades. Okay, and it looks like it keeps going on from there. Oh, Mintaka. Mintaka is a major hub here, it seems like, as well. It looks like Mintaka is a major transmission point here. This seems to be going straight into the Mintakan Council. From the Eye of Sahara. Okay, this seems to be where a lot of the, it seems Siriun, but it seems Siriun, but this is what looks like, is more so Mintakan too as well, okay? With the grandmother whales, it seems like there's some stuff coming from Mintaka. Elotra. What? I don't know what Elotra is. Tell me what Elotra is. Okay, so these radial systems seem to be going off into 48 fractal systems. Okay, and then beyond that, it does seem like this expands out. It looks like 500 light years out. Okay, so this is going from 48 fractal system sets of radial diversity and expands out to 200 to 500 light years in galactic connectivity to the Eye of Sahara. Okay, I'm seeing codes coming in through Diamond. I see Diamond. I'm seeing Platinum. It looks like it's running a bunch of metals here. We have, there's definitely gold. There's bronze. There is orichalcum. Okay, so orichalcum on the Poseidon temples. Okay, it looks like we have copper. A lot of copper here. A lot of iridium. Okay, and I'm also seeing silver and iron. Okay, I'm also seeing, it looks like 4 different types of volcanic rock. 4 different types of volcanic rock. It seems like in the Eye of Sahara, I'm seeing like all this different sedimentary type rock, and most of it is volcanic. Okay, so I'm seeing now, they're saying that this 48 fractal system, 200 to 500 light years spectrum, is coming through 118 alchemical transitions. Okay, alchemical transitions. Okay, so I'm seeing elementals. Lots of elementals here. Okay, so this is actually redistinguishing the Earth's grids. This is this 118 alchemical transition through the elementals. This is redistributing the quantum of the Earth. I'm seeing this through alkaline. It's definitely very alkaline vibration. There is strong magnetism. I can feel this because I can feel my energy field is heavy. Okay, and when it starts to get heavy, I feel the particles going faster. Okay, so this means reality is going faster. So all reality fields connected to this would be spinning at a much higher rate due to the gravitational and the magnetism increase. So I'm feeling my light body field feels very heavy right now. I'm seeing hydrothermal. It's like hydrothermal frequency. So this seems to be coming up from the volcanic rock. Okay, so again, I'm seeing iron wind, lots of iron wind here. This does seem to be anchoring light and drawing it into the Richat structure. So the iron here is very important. This is probably the most important element here. This is actually what's upholding the entire structure. Yeah, I really do feel like we need to go to the Richat structure. Like this site hasn't really been excavated. I think it's been briefly excavated. There isn't really a lot of information on it. But I do see like spears. I keep seeing like spearheads. And a lot of like tribal like trinkets, like hunting, like bows and arrows. I'm seeing like spearheads. I'm seeing like tribal fishing gear, almost like they used like spears to stab fish as well. Yeah, it's definitely, there's definitely a lot more that needs to be excavated underneath the structure. When I scan down into the structure, I am seeing skeletons. I'm seeing spearheads. I'm seeing fishing gear. I'm seeing bows and arrows. I'm seeing bowls and pots. I'm seeing like there is an excavation site under here that hasn't been tapped into yet. Okay. There's just a lot that they haven't discovered here. It's almost like I'm getting images of Göbekli Tepe right now as I talk about this. Like Göbekli Tepe keeps coming in, and it's like this similar like stronghold over the force fields there, the energy fields and the grids, that they're not allowing excavation. So it's actually very difficult to get here. And also the, okay. I'm seeing there is like, there's stuff playing out within the insectoid lines here. So I'm seeing that there's actually flies there. There's flies. So when I scan in, I see flies, and the flies are carrying like disease. Okay, so the flies, if they bite you, the flies will give you disease. Okay, so there's extensions of the insectoid lineages that are actually playing out in the control of preventing the excavation of the Richat structure due to the extensions of the insectoid descendancy, if that makes sense. So basically, there are actual natural forces at the Richat structure that are preventing excavation, is what I'm seeing. Okay, okay, guys. So, all right, what I'm seeing that came in on the group remote view is that there's actually a mound that sits up in the northwest corner that oversees the Richat structure. Now, when we were talking about tunnels and passageways earlier, this is important because this is one way you can access the Richat structure. So if we have the Richat structure here, okay, there is like a mound. I'm not drawing a very good mound, but this is an energetic access point into the Richat structure. You can use this for remote view or astral traveling, that you can access through this mound into the Richat structure. This came up in the remote view, so I just want to give a heads up to the remote viewer who did actually see this. Essentially, this mound seems to be an entrance point into the concentric field. So if you're trying to scan into the concentric field, you can access through this mound. And it does seem to be heightened activity the 8th through the 11th. Okay. And you have to access this. So this did come through. This did come through another divine feminine. She's saying that to access through this mound, that you have to be holding selenite or clear quartz to actually access this through a thunderstorm. So you have to go through a thunderstorm, and it has to be, you have to be holding clear quartz and selenite. Okay. And I'm also seeing that this was also a burial ground. Okay, so they have their burial ground to the northwest, the Atlantean burial ground. Okay, it looks like that. So yeah, basically the Atlanteans buried their dead by this burial mound, and that's why it is an access point into the Richat structure. Okay, I'm seeing that they they also buried their dead with selenite. So they buried their dead with selenite and clear quartz. So yeah, they did that because they felt that these two crystals actually assisted in crossing into the afterlife. Okay, so that's why this mound is so powerful, because it's literally, there's clear quartz and selenite that is buried all over this mound here. Okay, so this is like a major access point into the Richat structure because of that. So this is like a huge access point here energetically. I'm seeing that they did cremation. They cremated, but they also did similar like Egyptian practices of the dead as well, it looks like. Like I said, there does seem to be more portals that would connect into this, also from Antarctica and from Zion, China. Okay, I'm also seeing that this would allow access to, it looks like New Grange in Ireland. Also, I'm seeing like other concentric circle formations. So I'm seeing that there are connections to the stone circles globally. There are connections to, it does look like just other stone circles. So Stonehenge, like everything that's a stone circle, energetically has been encoded to this, okay? Everything is encoded originally from the Eye of Sahara. That's why people are drawing this structure. That's why this is all over the like the New Grange stones. It's because this is energetically encoded to this location. Okay, again, I'm seeing the mirror here. The mirror keeps coming back. So I'm seeing that mirror coming in with that 100-fold strength. And I'm immediately being shown Poseidon. Okay, so Poseidon. I'm also seeing the trident. I'm seeing Shiva. Now, there seems to be like a cross in identity between Shiva and Poseidon here. Okay, like they're one and the same. Neptune. Okay, so yeah, and I keep seeing that mirror keeps coming back, and that mirror keeps showing me the galactic ethnic cleansing. Like there's a galactic ethnic cleansing that's taking place within this, okay? Okay, again, so I just want to bring this up. So I'm almost done, guys. I'm almost getting ready to jump off, but I just want to show you really quickly with this. So what I'm seeing is these hourglass structures in the stargate portals. The Bermuda Triangle itself also emanates this larger hourglass shape or structure that does seem to define that entire dome. Okay, so this hourglass structure is the geometric structure to the greater dome. Okay, and what we've seen in the group remote view is that this extends, okay, so this extends up from the Temple Mount, from the Kaaba, okay, and creates a greater projection of that hourglass, so to speak. And so this would be like the fabrication of the dome, of the overdome that expands over into the earth field, that is projecting time rotation sets within stargate portals into greater sets of hourglass structures, into greater sets of hourglass structures in the Earth's dome, okay? The dome seems to begin in the Eye of Sahara, and then it extends into the parallels, into the greater extensions of the atmospheric dome on the Earth, okay? I keep seeing that the hourglass is also a perversion. So this is also a perversion of the structure of the Merkaba. Okay, so this is one way that they perverted it in the Atlantean timeline. So you have the Merkaba that is like this, right, over each other. So this is actually the hourglass. So if you moved this Merkaba up, you have the hourglass, right? You have this. Okay, so they merged it down to basically entrap time vortices. So it's one of the symbols that's running here to entrap time vortices. It seems like it does seem to be specifically encoded to specific time gate vectors. So it does seem to be encoded to the Bermuda and also to the Temple Mount, that they're using these perverted versions of the hourglass. And so it just basically means that it's a way that they've controlled these particular sands of time. It's a particular way that they've basically hijacked stargates, okay? And so it seems like it's timeline entrapment according to hijacked celestial systems, okay? The Bermuda particularly, the Bermuda feels like a decoy. It feels like a decoy Atlantis. It feels like the geomagnetic pole there was feeding the great attractor. So it seems like they are constantly feeding the great attractor through this. This is a black hole system. Okay. And again, it's also feeding other black hole wormholes on the other side of North America. Yeah, guys, but this all seemed to happen after the fall. I do feel that this portal system here should naturally be here. And that due to cataclysm or this continental shelf knocking off into the Atlantic, it moved this portal here. Yeah, that's a very good observation. It definitely very much does seem to have something to do with this unnatural gate here, because it is just a very strange technology. I mean, honestly, that they're doing here. It's honestly worshiping the black cube, right? Okay, so that takes us into Saturn matrix. It takes us into the Saturn moon matrix, and they're worshiping this in an anti-clockwise direction, and generating. And when I scanned into this, guys, I told you guys this was radioactive. This was lit up, very radioactive, and it didn't feel healthy. It felt like sickening. Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a lot going on here with that. And it's interesting that they're worshiping the black cube here, and then generating these perverted portals, right? Because of the geometry that's being used here. So yeah, good observation for sure. Okay, guys, so I think I'm going to jump off for today, but I just wanted to really run through this because I was getting so much just by tuning into this Richat structure from the Atlantis. I wanted to share it with you guys. If anyone wants to work with me, you can find all of my stuff at indigoangel222.com. Please feel free to come and join me over on Patreon, patreon.com/indigoangel. And you guys can join me there to do a group remote view. You're welcome, guys. I love you all so much. And yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back with another video. So take care, everyone. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.